Hey guys, how you doing? It's Coach Scott again, doing another video, and really wanted to go over the Logger Pro graphs, our experiment where we looked at mass versus volume, right? And what can we learn from this, right? Number one, always know what they're asking. There's two different metals on this graph. How do I know that? Well, I can tell, right? I've got metal B, I got metal A. Do whatever you got to do to make sure you know you're looking at the right line. So let's look at metal B. That's what I'm interested in. All right. So here, let's say I was to ask you, and I mentioned this in our review. So would be the slope for that line? If you wrote down y equal mx plus b, well, great, but you're not going to get credit because that doesn't really let me know that you know what this is telling me about this line. Every straight line, slope-intercept form is going to be y equal mx plus b. What's specific about this line? Let's think about it. What's our y? So our y-axis is mass. That's our y. So I'm going to write down mass. Just to be sure, I'm going to go ahead and parentheses put the unit, which is in grams. Grams. All right. It's going to ask me what the slope is. So what's the slope? It gave me the slope right here. Slope. It says slope. That's your M. 8.53 grams over cubic centimeters. This is a really good graph from Logger Pro. It does what you need it to do. All right. What's my X? My X. Well, what's my x-axis? Well, it's the volume. Volume. So if you gave me VOL, I'd be okay with that, but volume. Write that down, volume. And I like units, so I'm going to put cubic centimeters. And then it even gave me the y-intercept, y equal mx plus b, so that's going to be a plus. And what's my y-intercept? It says y-intercept, so it's 2.58 grams. All right. That will give you full credit, and that is the equation of that line. All right. That's what I want to see. Now, the y-intercept tells us a lot of things. It can tell us how important my line is, or how far off it is. It should be right. It should go right through zero. It doesn't. It intercepts at 2.58. Let's just see how bad it is. So I want to see. Let's see. I want to see what my range is. So here's my range right there. My first one is at 3 cubic centimeters. And how many grams of mass? Let's see, 10, 20. So it was about, I don't know, 28 grams, thereabouts. And the max was about, I'm just going along, follow this line because it's about that one, was about 80 grams. So that's my range of my of my my mass, about 28, 30 to about 80. So I'm going to look at my max right there, right? 80. So I need to determine if it's lesser or less than, let's go ahead and let's turn to the blue. Okay, if it's less than 5% difference. So how do I do that? How do I know if it's less than 5%? Well, 2.58 may not be enough, but let's see. So I'm going to have my 2.58 grams, and then I'm going to divide by my X max, which is what, 80? 80 grams. Then I'm going to multiply by 100, which will give me a percent. Let's see what that is, because I don't know. Get my calculator out. 2.58 divided by 80 times 100. So I got 3.23%. All right. So that tells me a little bit, a whole lot actually. 3.2%. We'll keep it 2 sig figs. All right, so if it's less than 5%, which it is, 5%, then the line's pretty good. Your y-intercept is insignificant. Y is insignificant. It's not going to matter that much. You can trust your numbers, in other words. All right, I figured out by looking at the x max or the y max. All right, by my y-intercept, I found out that it's less than 5% of my max. So I'm pretty good. All right, so that would answer a question like that. Now, looking at this chart, what does the slope tell me? Well, slope is mass divided by volume, right? So that tells me the slope. If I look at B and I look at A, well, I can look at the slope. The slope on B is greater than the slope on A, right? Which means the density of B is greater than the density of A. And if you tell me that, that's all I need to know. B is more dense than A. All right. So let's see something here with this one. How could I figure out the mass of a let's see, of a 7 cubic centimeter, a 7 cubic centimeter piece of B? Well, I've got a formula there. All right, so let's call that, I don't know. Let's go to purple again. So let's say that's C. So I've got a 7 cubic centimeter piece of B. Okay, so I can do a couple things. I can count that 2.58 or not. Yeah, I'm going to. So I'm looking for the mass in grams. And let's see, I've got a formula. 8.53 times my y. Grams per cubic centimeter. I like seeing units. And my y is 7. 7 cubic centimeters plus my y-intercept, 2.53. I can choose to use that or not. I won't count against you if you do or you don't. 2.58. All right, so I have 7, and let's say that's 7.0. Yeah, 7.0, because I could go 2 on there. I could guess 7.1, 7.2, whatever. I said 7.0. Okay? So that's 2 sig figs. So I'm going to do my math. 8.53 times 7.0 plus 2.58. I got 62.29. That's what my calculator said. 62.29. 62.29. Let's see. I've got 2 sig figs there. I got 3 sig figs there, 3 sig figs there. So I'm going to go with 2 sig figs. So I'm going to round to that digit there. Or, correct answer, I'm going to round to two significant figures, 62. Let's see that 2. It's not going to round, it'll just stay where it is. So it'll be 62 grams. If I look at my chart, that's about what I'm going to see. I'm going to double check myself. If I go all the way over, I'm going to see about 62 grams of B. Question's answered. Now let's think. Who's going to have the more volume? 100 grams of A or 100 grams of B? 50 grams of A or 50 grams of B? Who's going to have the more volume? Okay. Well, I can do 2 things. I could calculate it. Let's do that. D, do a rough one. I can say 100 grams equals um, slope. What is the first one? 8.53. Yep. Grams over cubic centimeters times V. Ignore the thing. We're just doing it real quick. So to find V, and this is B, 100 divided by 8.53, I got 11.7 cubic centimeters, or 11 cubic centimeters. Actually, it'd be 12. Let's say 12 cubic centimeters. B is 12 cubic centimeters. Let's go to blue. Let's look at A. Go back and look at the slope there. Slope there is 2.7. Let's do this in blue. So 100 grams equal 2.7 grams per cubic centimeter times V. So 100 divided by 2.7 is going to give me 37. So I calculated, which is fine. All right. 37 cubic centimeters. So what would which one would have the most volume? What would be A? A would have the most volume. Or I could just look at the slopes and I could say since the would have most volume. You could calculate it pretty easily. BOL. Or since the density of A is less than the density of B, A would have the most volume. You could say that, and that would be correct. So either way. So anyway, I wanted to look at that real quick so we could understand how the Logger Pro graphs work and where we can find the pieces. So anyway, this is Coach Scott. This was a little long one, but there's a lot of information there. So anyway, Hullabaloo in the Canuck. Have a great day. Stay dry.